this is Tony with Kate's Crafty Closet. Today I have this really fun, cool happy birthday card, as I am part of a monthly challenge that is headed up by Gareth over at Create at Home with G, and there's several of us that will be participating in this today. All our videos will be live, which I'll link them all below in the description box below, so make sure you go check out everybody's card. The color challenge this month was craft, white, and blue. So if you want to join in on this challenge, make sure you go ahead and join Create at Home with G, so you can enter your projects, and at the end of the month a random winner is chosen and you get a prize pack. So make sure you go ahead and check that out. And each and every month there is a different color combo. So like I said, this month is blue, craft, and white. So let's go ahead and get this party started. So the first thing you're going to need for this is some craft cardstock. This craft cardstock I'm using today is Neenah Desert Storm, and this is a top folding standard A2 size card, which means that is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So we're going to go ahead and put that to the side because we'll need that a little bit later. Then I went ahead and used the stitched A2 size rectangle. This is the largest one from My Favorite Things, and I die cut another piece of the Desert Storm. This is the 80-pound version, and the first one is the 100-pound version. Just want to make sure I clarify that. So next thing we're going to go in and doing is, like, I'm going to pull out my Picket Fence Studios light changing blender brushes. This is just a 2-pack, which is a little bit more cost friendly if you're on a budget. So I bought those and I'm going to use them again today. I find myself using them quite often. So today, for the blue part of we're going to use Salty Ocean, and we're going to use the Mermaid Lagoon Distressoxide. So we kind of did this playing around with these color choices in my Facebook group, Kate's Crafty Closet, so make sure you check that out as well too. So I'm going to go ahead and grab one of my brushes. This is Salty Ocean. I'm just going to load this little thing up with some ink, and I'm just going to go ahead and start applying it. And I want, darker on the edges, and then I want it lighter going out. So you can do any other color combination of blues that you want. I just find oxides, for me, great to easily blend, and that. But you can use any kind of dye-based inks. You can even go ahead and use pigment. And just remember that these inks may stay a little bit wet on your paper, so keep that in mind. But I like using the oxides because they do blend effortlessly. And for me, I always struggled with ink blending, so this is a perfect way to kind of end that madness for me. So I just go lightly as I'm going out towards the edge, so I don't get a super bold background. But like I said, on the edges over here, I'm okay with that. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and close that up because we're done with that one, and we're going to go in and use Mermaid Lagoon towards the outer edge, which Mermaid Lagoon has also has a little bit of a green tint to it. And I'm just going to grab a piece of copy paper so I don't get inky fingers, so I don't transfer it on my project. So I'm just lightly grabbing that Mermaid Lagoon and going around that edges and helping that seamlessly blend. And like I said, you can use any choices of blues. I'm not going to use a lot of the Mermaid Lagoon, and which I'm totally okay with. So now that we got that done, we're going to go ahead and move some things to the side, and we're going to clean up my ink. Like, if I wasn't filming a video right now, I most certainly would be grabbing up a piece of mixed media paper or grabbing a piece of watercolor cardstock, and I would use that eventually at some point in a background or in a card. So here we have that. And because, like I said, it's a pigment based and dye based ink, it's going to be a little bit more wet and I'm going to be heat embossing. So I'm just going to take my heat tool, and I apologize for the noise, so I won't talk while this is going on. Okay, so I've just wanted to do that to make sure that it is dry enough for our heat embossing. And I'm very bad at putting down any kind of powder to prevent the static, but today I'll listen to that inner voice that's telling me you need to use it, dude. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to do the best that I can and use that powder if I can find where I just had it. Like, literally, I just had it. I just had the powder in a brush, and I'm very bad at putting things back where they belong. Here they are. Here is the brush, and I just have a little jar. I found my little jar of powder, and I'm just going to go ahead and apply it to the front of this card. If you have like an embossing buddy or anything like that, you most certainly can use that. This is just regular old baby powder. So we got that. Then I'm going to come in with this this is my favorite things, cling rubber background stamp, and it is called Roses All Over. And here it is. Like, I didn't pull the cling off because 9 times out of 10 when I use my large cling rubber background stamps, I leave this on because I will put the cardstock on top of the stamp because it's just easier than trying to flip it over, maneuver it, and stuff like that. So I'm just going to go ahead and use my ink on 3 Juicy. This is just a clear embossing ink. Any kind of clear embossing ink that you have in your stash will work. This is just the one that I have close by and what I'm using today. I'm just going to generously apply that on. This is a sticky ink that allows it, gives us a little bit of room before we can put our embossing powder on it and stuff like that. So I'm going to carefully put this on it so I don't miss a spot. And I'm not going to put it all the way on there because I really don't want it to cover the whole card. I'm just going to kind of like leave a little bit off the edge and just smooth this out with my hands and let that embossing ink transfer to my cardstock. Okay, so now that I've got that, carefully pull it up not to slide it, and I can see within the ink that we got an impression. And now I'm going to come in with my white embossing powder, which was supposed to be right next to me, and it's a little bit further down than it should be. And I'm going to pull in some more of that copy paper that we used earlier so we can kind of dump the embossing powder on it. And I have a little spoon in here that tends to not stay where it belongs, and I'm just going to generously apply this powder mainly on the top because I can let it slide down when I pick it up. And here we go, we got that. And see, we have, even though we have a little bit of strays over there, probably because my ink was a little bit wet, but over there really shouldn't have done that, but that's okay. That's what we can go back and with this paintbrush and clear off any stray embossing powder. And then we can do a little bit of tap on the back just to pull off any that is on the inside of that. And then I'm just going to go ahead and pull a little bit more of this embossing powder onto the front, because sometimes when you flick it on the back you lose a little bit, and that's normal. And if I have a little bit of strays on the inside, I'm okay with that. Totally 100% okay with that. So let's go ahead and pour our embossing powder back into our thing here, and then we'll put the top back on because Lord knows my fan's blowing. I probably should have turned it off, and so we don't have too much of a mess. I always have a tendency to have embossing powder everywhere. All right, let's go ahead and heat emboss. The magic of heat embossing. And like I said, we have strays on here, but I'm okay with that. So just, you can see it melt because it turns from dull to glossy. So much fun just to watch it melt. And then again, like I said, the strays I'm not concerned about. Gives it a little bit of character. Okay. And some of that area I didn't push down hard enough, but that is 100% okay. So that is our heat tool. Let's just come in with our rag and get some of this embossing powder off of there, because that grittiness drives me insane. And we can just, since it's now, we can get some of that, if anything has on top of it. All right, smooth it out. That's why one of the things I hate about embossing powder, when it goes everywhere, it just seems to go everywhere. So then again, next I went ahead and I have some dies from Spellbinders. These are just some label dies. This is called Brianna's Corset Label. I am going to use the medium and the large in here. And basically we're going to take another piece of the cardstock, the Desert Storm cardstock. And I'm going to stamp out this happy birthday that is in this My Favorite Thing stamp set called Rainbow Greetings. And I already have it on a acrylic block here. And I'm going to actually stamp it in the Salty Ocean ink from earlier, the Distress Oxide. So we're just going to go ahead and ink it up like this. These also stamp well. These inks stamp well on dark cardstock. So another reason why I chose to use this today. So I'm just going to go ahead and stamp that happy birthday. And voila, we have a nice cool image. So there is the medium label die that I would cut out using my Vagabond, or any kind of die cutting machine you have would be awesome. So this is what you get. You get that. And then for the larger one, I went ahead and die cut a piece of vellum out so I can back that up on top of there just to give it a little bit of a halo on there. So we can go ahead, and I'm going to use a foam square. This is, like I said, them Dollar Tree foam squares that I love so much. And I'm just going to adhere that to the back of the Kraft label that has the happy birthday, and do my best to line it up, center it onto our vellum piece. So then we have it. Next thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to take some of my adhesive tape runner and put it on here. If it goes over onto the vellum, it's okay, because it'll get lost in that. So I'm going to put this on here. I want the Kraft label to touch that end, so that means that we're going to have a little bit off on the edge here, and I'm totally can trim that off, so I'm not going to stress that out. So then we just pull that over, and we're going to carefully trim that piece off. So there we go. We have that trimmed off. Move that to the side. Isn't that awesome? So then I have some little gems here that have a tendency to want to fly away on me, but so we will find them sooner rather than later, right? So let's just go ahead to the next part, and if I don't come across those before the end of the video, we will just go ahead and I'll just show you them on the other card, the finished card. Because like I said, nothing ever stays in the spot. Do you have that problem in your craft room? Like things just seem to disappear on you, and that's totally okay. But you can use sequins. These are just some adhesive gems. So I have this Spellbinders Sparkle Silk, in here, and I just went ahead and put some into this little palette, and I'm going to squeeze excuse me, a little bit of water in there, and I'm going to stir it around. And this is just a water brush that I have. Okay, and I'm just going to apply this to a few of the roses on here, not all of them. And I'm going to be careful because these are distress, these are reactive with water, so it's definitely going to change the format. It's going to lift some of that ink up, which will get on that embossing powder. And if you do not want it on top, just dab it off with your fingers or a clean cloth. And like, I'm not going crazy with applying these, so I'm just going to pick 3. So we have that one. We're going to go down here at the bottom, and we're going to apply the sparkle silk on here. Okay, and then we'll pick another one. Like, we'll go right here, like center. Okay, so we have a little bit of shimmer onto that, and we can just clean that off later at another time. It's like, unfortunately, I guess I'm not going to be able to find my little gems because they want to play hide and go seek with me, and that's okay. I totally am okay with that because I can just add those later. But I'll show you on the finished card where I place those at, just so you will know. And I'm just going to go ahead and apply some foam squares to here is the little thingy dingies. So we can apply some foam squares to the back because we can give it a little bit of dimension and add to our card. So perfect. So I'm glad I found those. Like, they want to play hide and go seek. So I'm just going to apply this to the back, and then I usually will peel off the release paper, and then I'll add some of that art glitter glue to the back of it, so I have a little bit of wiggle room, which helps me out quite a bit. A semi lifesaver is what I call it. And so here we go. I'm always generous with my foam squares because I don't like it when it bends up when it is handled. So you got that. You can push that back over, and here we have that. Then I have some of these little, like I said, these are adhesive gems, and I just take a little pair of scissors because they are connected with adhesive, so it's easier just to cut it while it's on that acetate and then remove it. So I'm just going to apply 3. I'm going to do 1 in the ear corner, 1 in this corner, and then 1 over here on our vellum piece, just to kind of draw attention to the sentiment. So there we have our and then, like I said, I'll apply it with some glue, and I will put it on our card base here. So there you have it, a cool, fun happy birthday card using kraft, white, and blue. So make sure, if you're interested, check out all the other creatives who are doing cards as well. Make sure you check out the group, because that's where you will enter Create at Home IG. That's where you will enter your projects to be entered into the giveaway that will be held at the end of September. So thank you again for joining me. I appreciate each and every one of you all. And like I said, all the products that I used in today's video will be linked in the description box below, as well as all the other YouTube channels that you need to go ahead and check out, and the link to the group Create at Home with G. So thank you, and y'all have a crafty day, y'all.